Got to do it to him, haven't I? I've got to do it to him. Yes. What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here to go ahead and talk a bit about Need for Speed 2019. Oh yes. Oh yes, it is indeed that time of the year again where we're going to start speculating about the next game, or talking about the next game, and today we're going to talk endgame and replay value. It's the golden word. Endgame. I feel like we mentioned this, well, we have been mentioning this a lot recently. It only really has seemed like the past few years that Endgame has become a really big problem, not only for Need for Speed, but pretty much every racing game there is. The only recent game that has actually done it relatively well, in my opinion, is Forza, and then if you go into Sims and stuff, Gran Turismo did it quite well in all fairness, but those two series, like, there's not any arcade races other than Horizon 4, this generation, that I believe has done Endgame well, other than the Crew 1. The Crew 1 was really good, actually. Let's move over to Need for Speed, because Need for Speed, well, yeah, that's not really been that good. Rivals, after you finish the main campaign and all the events, there's quite literally nothing to do in the map. Then you move over to 2015, and yes, you had Speedless, and that was a lot of fun in 2015 for me. I really enjoyed 2015 Speedless. But other than that, you had Prestige mode, I guess. You got unlocked Eddie's Challenge after you completed the main story, but there really wasn't much to keep you coming back. There was no, like, Need for Speed Edition Cars. There was no, like, extra, like, endgame rewards, say something like, do a 1 million miles and then you unlock the M3 GTR. There's nothing like that. It was pretty much once you completed the story, go into Speedless or just leave. And then with Payback, well, I'm not even going to talk about Payback because it just doesn't deserve my time or attention. We all know how much of a mess that game was, and that had even less endgame than 2015. The Speedless were even worse than 2015. Absolutely fantastic. So now as we look towards the next Need for Speed game, Need for Speed 2019 obviously has been announced. What do we want from the end game? I want the next game to be a game that lasts for absolutely ages. Obviously, I think everyone does. I think that with the way games are going now, everything's becoming live service based, and with live service, games tend to last for a lot longer than just 2 years nowadays. I mean, you can see Horizon is also on a 2-year cycle, and even with that game still being on a 2-year cycle, that game's probably going to last up until the next game, and then some with Forzathon and stuff. So it all comes back to this point of, what do we want from Need for Speed's endgame? Let's get it! Need for Speed Edition Cars is something which I've wanted from Need for Speed for absolutely ages. Now, this isn't just as simple as a livery, because you can go ahead and download liveries. There's no point in doing that. Like, I see with the abandoned cars, they're, giving you, Rachel's 350Z and M3 GTRs and stuff. But it doesn't really make much sense because you can literally make those cars anyway. What I want from NFS Edition Cars is proper, authentic icon cars. Everything down to the sound, the body kit, everything needs to be specific from the old game. So, with Eddie's Skyline in the current games, I think it's called the Sunlight wide body or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But it's not the, the official wide body from Underground 1. I don't know what the name is specifically. I just know it's not that specific wide body. What I want to see is that specific wide body with the specific RB26 with the stupid head gasket, blow off valve noise. And I want to see that return as an icon car. The only way you can do that is maybe by becoming, top rank in ranked PvP. That's how I want to see this done. With the M3 GTR, we all know the infamous gear whine. If you don't, this is what I'm talking about. It's like a sound every Need for Speed fan should know. Like, it's one of those ones that even if you don't play Need for Speed, you probably remember that from, the game in 2005. I want to see that back. I want to see the engine whine, the gear whine. I think it's because of the shortcut gears. I might be wrong on that, but I want to see like the shortcut gear whine. The original sounds with the original wide body. I know they already have the wide body in the game, so that could be easily done. But maybe put like a different number plate on the back with the Forza Edition cars do, and maybe even give it a bonus, so you might get a bit more credits in doing a race in an M3 GTR. So make it so there's some incentive to using these cars, and most importantly, these cars should be rare. It should be clear how to unlock these cars. So I reckon you should still be able to see them in dealerships, etc. But to unlock them, it should be relatively hard, and they should be relatively rare. So that only those people that really want to go ahead and get these cars should get these cars. A way I'm thinking of doing this is you can see the car in the dealership and it tells you what you need to do. So I can see the M3 GTR in the dealership, but it's locked. Underneath the lock, it then says complete 1,000 online races. You're sitting there like, That's a lot of goddamn races. Maybe it gives you how many races you've done already out of 1,000 there, you know, underneath the lock screen. That's how I would see NFS Edition Cars being done in this game. You know, give me some extra incentive. By no means should these cars be overpowered. Maybe they should be a little bit better because you have put the time in to get them, but I don't think they should be cars that, you know, you're necessarily going to be ridiculously better than other people in. And another thing with these cars, before we move on to the next point, you shouldn't be able to customize them. And that's a bit of a controversial one, but I think because they are special icon cars with special icon sounds, with special icon body kits, they should stay special. Obviously, that's going to, you know, cause a bit of problem. People are going to be like, oh, well, I want to use the Y body on another car. I think it would make more sense if, you know, it was just locked to the icon car, and then makes the car a bit more special, it makes the car a bit more elusive. I think that's something which I would personally much prefer, because let's be honest, we don't see kind of stuff like this in games anymore. Everything's open, you can get everything instantly, and I think, you know, locking a body kit behind an icon car, that's something I can get down for. Maybe, you know, let you change the colour, and maybe, but then even then, like, I don't know how I'll feel about that. One of those things, that's something which I guess you guys can, you know, debate in the comments. I would personally not have it like that though. Next up, ranked PvP. I feel like I'm the only one in the community that cares about PvP. It's one of the things which adds hours of game time, even with Horizon taking hours to find games. That's the one thing which keeps me coming back, that and the seasonal events, but I'd much rather play against real people than AI. Ranked PvP, firstly, needs to work, because it didn't work in the last game. So, you know, making it so I don't get demoted, you know, after winning races, that's quite nice. Solo as well, I don't do a Horizon and make me team based, like that doesn't need to happen. And rewards, give me lots of rewards. So how we're seeing a lot of live service games do PvP at the moment is during seasons. By seasons I don't mean Forza Horizon seasons, I literally mean like a ranked season. So like a 3-month period, that's season 1, and then after that is season 2 for another 3 months, etc, etc. Now usually with these seasons comes different tweaks to car and car balancing, and that's something I definitely want to see with Need for Speed. Why the RSR and the Huracan is still OP, and even the Regera to an extent after a game, still OP, don't understand, needs to be changed. Even the Volkswagen Beetle I think is quite a good car in Payback. Balancing is something which I can definitely you know, get behind. I think that's something which would be really cool if they did start doing that. I think ranked PvP has a place in Need for Speed. Even though it's an arcade game, that doesn't mean that it can't be competitive. I don't see any reason why, you know, Need for Speed couldn't have an esports at all. They've got a lot of things to fix before then, but I don't see any reason why that couldn't be a thing. So as a whole, PvP just needs to be balanced, it needs to work, and rewards need to be given, you know, adequately to those people that play well. Maybe give some of the NFS Edition cars to people that finish with a really high rank at the end of the season. Don't know, that's just an idea. I wouldn't say lock, you know, like neons and stuff behind ranked progression, because like I feel like that's kind of stuff which should be open to everyone. You know, maybe if they were going down the route of character customization like Forza, you could put clothing and stuff like Forza's doing with, you know, wheel spins and stuff. That's all pretty cool. It's just kind of, you want to put stuff in there which is worth grinding for, but at the same time not filler. I think that's something which Forza did quite well, in all honesty. I really want that Windows XP horn, like really bad. But it's finding a balance. I think that's quite hard. It depends obviously what you're going to add into the game in terms of content, but I think overall, if you could try to, you know, make it so it is something that you want, but at the same time something which isn't just filler, that is probably going to be the best thing. Free burn challenges. Burnout Paradise was one of my favourite racing games of all time. Still is one of my favourite racing games of all time. I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I'm pretty sure most people who are watching this know what free burn challenges are. Think Forzathon Live. Think Most Wanted 2012. Pretty much the same thing as what free burn challenges were. Everyone meets at a point, jumps over some shit, gets rewarded. It's a nice way to bring the free roam together, which I also think should be always online. And it's just, yeah, just an easy way of, you know, racking up points. And again, you could lock some stuff behind some of these free burn challenges. So, for example, if you say do all of the, I don't know, all of the Smash objectives, you might be able to unlock Cross's Z06. Like, that's just one thing that comes to mind, you know, very quickly. But that is something which I think could add really well. And again, I want to stress, anything which is locked behind progression shouldn't be like rims, it shouldn't be spoilers, it shouldn't be, you know, those kinds of things. Things which I should be able to use on other cars, because I don't think that makes an awful lot of sense. Icon body kits are completely different to, you know, to locking TE37s behind rims, because everyone is going to want to use TE37s, and, you know, it's one of those things, I think, finding a balance of, like I said, filler and things that are worth grinding for. You need to give incentive to things which you're adding in wheel spins, or wheel spins. But yeah, it's one of those things you need to find a balance. I wouldn't put a lot of popular rims behind progression, because people are going to want to use those rims very frequently. And again, kind of continuing on this kind of live service kind of route we're taking, and that is what I'm assuming the next game is going to be. You know, I'm taking very, very heavy influence off Forza, because Forza's doing it very, very well. It needs to be updated bi-weekly, by the minimum. I want to see this game properly supported, and I'm not talking payback. That was atrocious. The support for that game was atrocious. I want to see, you know, new rotations for PvP, you know, bi-weekly. I want to see, you know, obviously, like I said earlier on, I want to see balancing. I want to see new things added to, you know, crates and stuff. I want to see new stuff added in terms of progression and unlocks, and maybe that kind of stuff is a bit more like wider spread, maybe a month. But other than that, you know, at least bi-weekly there needs to be something in the game added, whether that's events, whether that's you know, extra like shit you can unlock, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I think that kind of stuff does need to be added, you know, on a bi-weekly basis or a weekly basis, and then content needs to be added at least monthly. Cars would be a really cool thing to add. I know cars are a bit of a controversial thing. Would you rather have a car pass, or would you rather have it how the Crew 2 does it? I would personally prefer if it was free, but at the same time, there's a lot of bugs to iron out, so I wouldn't worry about that too much as of yet. Worry about ironing the bugs out first, because there is a hell of a lot of them. And those are the most important things that come to mind in terms of Need for Speed progression. I could probably go on for days, to be honest. I could probably go on for another 10 minutes about things I want to see in Need for Speed. But I'm going to end that here for Endgame. We're going to come back to this. You know, we've got a while till Need for Speed comes out, so, you know, we're going to be touching on things slowly but surely. But that's been it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe, and peace.